Hey guys, and welcome to Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And of course, we are your casters for tonight. My name is
And
James.
my name is MG. Let's go.
Yes, and let's go
Yes.
indeed. Our teams are just preparing for our first match for tonight. And of course, our first teams who will be participating for today, MG.
It's gonna be team building versus arrogant. Here you go.
Yes, team building versus arrogant. But of course, also let's also say the other teams who will be
Mm-hmm.
participating for tonight, because we have a total of 4 matches for
Yes.
tonight. This is still in the top 16 bracket, so yeah, this is still round 2 of our bracket for tonight. So yeah, for the first match is team building versus arrogant. Next is hierarchy versus wakana. Third match is Team Passions versus Sci-Fi. And for our fourth match for tonight is Resonance versus Immunity. And yeah, hopefully we get to see a lot of good plays and good matches for tonight, MG.
Yeah, definitely. I'm very excited on the plays that they're gonna make and what strategy are they gonna pull off for this map, because we know for a fact that this map is kind of unique versus on the first map that we have for the first top 32 teams. Yeah.
Yes, all right. And of course, 2 minutes left in the buy timer. So yeah, I'm seeing a lot of actually shoutouts in the chat right
Yeah.
now. And shoutouts to everyone in the chat right now, of
Yes.
course. And please do like and share our stream, because this is still top 16 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And yeah, it's only here on the Ragnarok Online GGH page, of course, the live stream of Ragnarok Asia Masters. And yeah, what are you expecting for our matches for tonight, MG?
Well, actually, I have a lot of like expectation for this match since we had our first matchups on this map last Monday. So I think teams are properly adjusted to this map. So I think they know what to do, like what strategy are they gonna pull off for this. And maybe we're gonna see more defensive style at the
Mhm.
middle and maybe some aggressive play, but I think majority of this one will lean towards the defensive
Mhm.
play style.
Well, looking at their lineups like right now, I don't know if we're going to see some defensive plays right
Oh
here,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
since this is still in the top
Yeah.
16 bracket, we are going to be playing on map number 3. So yeah, still the bridge map.
Bridge map.
Yes,
Yes.
and we haven't seen much of the plays here in this map in the first day of round 2, right?
Yes.
So I'm hoping to see more of interesting plays and strategies here for this map, especially with our teams really preparing for the games for tonight.
Yes, definitely. So I think we have a really good and interesting lineups for this
Mhm.
first match. So I think we're gonna have like what do you call this? Like a long fights between these two first team.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Mhm. Well, it will really depend on their strategy, of course, if we were going to have a long fight for our teams. But yeah, let's move on to the starting point right now, MG. Let's talk about their lineups.
Yes. Okay, so we are actually on the side of team building right now. And upon checking, they have the 5 core classes. Of course, they have the Sorcerer, they have the Royal Guard, they have the Archbishop, they have the Sura, and they have the Minstrel. And the two added classes that they're gonna push is gonna be the Rune Knight and a Shadow Chaser for a more diverse strategy on their lineup for team building.
Mm-hmm. And for the side of Arrogant, though, I see a Mechanic and Ranger for the lineup here in the first round of this match number 1, and I'm so hyped up to
Let's
see
go!
how these teams will perform for tonight. But yeah, if we're going to talk about defensive, I think that will lean more to the side of team building. It's a more of a well balanced lineup, I can say, compared to the glass that Arrogant has. Like they have the Ranger, of course they can deal more DPS, but if we have a mechanic, you can actually nullify the long range DPS
Yes.
of your opponents.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Especially with the neutral barrier of the mechanic, it will actually just eliminate those range pressures coming from, uh, like from those range pressures. And right now, I think we're actually trying to set. Okay, so right now team building is moving on the north side, and they're actually moving really fast. But yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
they're just gonna play a very defensive play on this one since they have a solid sponge type lineup for this.
Yes, and Arrogant already immediately took the middle or the center of the map. Of course, team building moved to the north side immediately and
Hmm.
very quickly because they might be aware that Arrogant is playing with a mechanic, so they want to reduce the chances of them getting hit by that suicidal destruction. And actually a good call by team building right there. You don't want to get hit by that suicidal destruction immediately at the start of the map on your spawn point. So getting out quickly is really the best call for that one.
Yes, and at the same time, again, they need to maximize the time. No need to rush things because again, this is gonna be an elimination match. The moment that you messed up one match, you only have like one more chance to come back for a 1-1. And yeah, actually good call on the side of Arrogant. They just want to make sure that they're setting their face as well. Um, yeah, basically they're just camping the middle part of this map. They have a good advantage here. They have the mechanic, and yes, I think this is a pretty good defense for their team.
Pretty good defense indeed for both sides right there. But team building really wants to push in. They are slowly but
Here we
surely
go.
pushing in full throttle, committed by that Rune Knight. The Dagger's Breath will pull off. Suicidal
Squeeze.
Destruction
Whoa!
though will land,
Arrow
followed up
Storm?
by that Gates of Hell coming
Gates of
from that
Hell?
Sura of Arrogant. But Arrow Storms will connect as well. Masquerade's Urgent Escape, and of
Numa?
course Archbishop. And the Shadow Chaser is the only one left for team building as Arrogant will
Ooh.
try and survive that or take down. Oh, but Shadow Formation actually took down that Sura as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good call by that Shadow Chaser. But what else can you do aside from being a sitting duck if you only have that Archbishop left, as round number 1 will be going to Arrogant.
Yes, that's actually a good push coming from. I mean, good initiation. They have a full throttle push. The Rune Knight managed to push as well, and I think it's just Arrogant is just really prepared and they know how to zone out on this side. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if that Shadow Chaser survived and
Mm-hmm.
targeted someone else with that Shadow Formation, they could have tried to make a clutch play right there to take down the members of Arrogant. But Arrogant didn't need to do anything right there because they have 5 members left, and team building was left with 2 members, Shadow Chaser and the Archbishop.
Yes.
But I like the full throttle commitment of that
Yeah.
Rune Knight. But unfortunately, they all stuck. Team building all stuck to that choke point, wherein that mechanic can really go in. Suicidal
Yes.
destruction popped off, taking down a 4 member, or rather 3 members, I believe, of team building. Sura was still alive at that time. Curse Circle was committed, actually trying to stop someone from just pushing in and dealing that much damage against their stack.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, team building at that time really got hit by that suicidal destruction, and it went downhill from there because again there was a follow up by that Sura from Arrogant. After that suicidal destruction, Arrogant went in, Gates of Hell, taking down that Sura, and it all snowballed from there.
Yes. Yeah, that's actually a good read coming from that mechanic. Like he's really the moment that they saw that Rune Knight jumping into their zone, he immediately just went in without any questions. Like he knows
Mm-hmm.
the spacing that he needs to do the front slide, and from there he just landed it perfectly. Like taking out like 2 to 3 players, and yes, I mean he just know it. He know what to do, and that's a good play coming from Aragon's mechanic.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you know, full throttle was committed by that Rune Knight earlier, so it cannot be used for the duration of this match against Arrogant, because again it has a long cooldown.
Yeah.
40 minutes, I believe, is the cooldown of 40 or 50 minutes is cooldown of full throttle. So you cannot really use that in
Yeah.
the next round as well. So we might see a change of lineup for team building, but we're not really sure about that for now, because they can still play with a Rune Knight even without that full throttle. But of course, if you have that full throttle on, you can do some serious damage.
Yes. I think what's lacking earlier on the side of team building, the moment that Rune Knight commits the push, actually the Rune Knight is at the middle part of the box, or at the middle, right? He actually pushed there, and majority of the players on the side of team building just stuck on the bridge, and we know for a fact that's a few cells area on that bridge that you need to move forward. So the moment that the Rune Knight moves in, your teammate should be following you and spreading out inside that box to minimize the damage of that suicidal destruction. I believe this, the cells is that a 6x6 for damage or cell damage on the suicidal destruction. I think that's a 6x6 or something. But yes, you need to avoid and you need to commit. And everyone should be jumping in. You need to have like priority target, like this disabling the ranger plus the mechanic, because again they're actually playing with a low HP Sura, so that Sura will play very kinda passively, right? So he cannot jump in immediately, so you have the advantage of taking the first push on that scenario if everyone
Well,
committed inside that on that box.
you know, the problem is with that situation when you're really in the center of this map. You can't really push in that much, because again you are going to get stuck in a choke point, especially
Yeah.
at that bridge. So you really need to move at a how can I say this, a good pace for you to be
Yeah.
able to actually push in. So it's kind of easy to say, but it's hard to do somewhat in that scenario, because again Rune Knight was quickly really pushed in just to take down or damage the stack there of Arrogant.
Yeah.
But maybe defending Aura was on, that's why they didn't take a lot of damage, and most of the members of Arrogant was under that Royal Guard's sacrifice.
Yes.
So it's really hard to deal that much damage, especially when you're stuck in that choke point. But again, that's a good read from the mechanic of Arrogant right there.
Yes.
And team building, maybe we'll try a different strategy. And yeah, they might, or playing at the middle might not be the best option for them, because
Yes.
again, if they're dealing with that mechanic, they need to stop that mechanic. Maybe if they're that masquerade ignorance latches onto that mechanic immediately as he goes in with that the front slide, and isn't able to cast that suicidal destruction, maybe that will work out for them. But for now, it's not really working well if they want to push, or it's not gonna work well if they want to push in the middle, and the Arrogant already positioned themselves there. So maybe if they want to have a quick take on the center of the map instead of going at a different direction first, or maybe if they want to play with a mechanic, that can work as well.
Yes. I think right now Arrogant has the they have like a good lineup for this map. Like
Mhm.
if team building wants to like dive in and set the pressure, they need to close the gap between their team versus Arrogant's team, right? So they need to go into a one stack there, maybe a very close combat versus these two teams. I think team building can have a chance taking down. Maybe they can actually take down the rest of the members of Arrogant. But yeah, let's go ahead and check on round number 2.
Well, we'll see what the strategy these teams have come up with to start round number 2. Of course, Arrogant is leading by 1. Team building needs to catch up. Maybe this is going to be the time for them to commit that full throttle to actually secure the victory right here for their team. But it can also backfire on them if they're not really careful. So yeah, we'll see what happens in round number 2. But it was a quick fight in round number
Yes.
1. Maybe round number 2 will be seeing something different, or we'll be seeing the same thing.
Yes.
But whatever happens, we're here to see it all.
Yes. But again, it's actually really good to see like veteran plays coming from these teams. It's actually the best of the best guilds right now fighting each other for our top 16 and taking their shot for the top 8. So let's go ahead and check, and here we go for round number 2. Team building versus arrogant. And yeah.
Let's go.
Here we
All
go.
right.
Oh.
Team building. Kind of playing it a little bit safe right here. Of course, they did what they did things differently here in the
Yes.
round number 2, because they already occupied the middle of the map, and now they are trying to find where Arrogant pushed in. So team building, actually they switch places in a way with Arrogant right now.
Oh, yeah. I think again, it's really good to set a different tempo on the side of Arrogant since they are leading. So meaning the pressure is gonna be on team building side. So they have that bits of space of confidence in order for them to set the tempo versus team building. And right now on the side of team building, yes, they need to play a very tight strategy, avoid those errors, and pinpoint those important targets in order for them to succeed and snowball to the team of Arrogance.
And I like what team building is doing right now. If they are not pushing onto that bridge because they know that they are dealing with that mechanic.
Yes.
And now they have a Shadow Chaser to scout, but we will see a clash right here. Front slide will go in. Ooh, that went down immediately, but Curse Circle will get casted right
Here we
here.
go.
Gates of Hell will get
Very
committed. Arrogant just pushing in. Gates of Hell once again by that Sura. Arrogant just trying to damage team building right here, but team building surviving the onslaught that Arrogant wants to bring to them, and Rune Knight is causing damage here to Arrogant. Arrow Storms will connect. Shadow Chaser, Rune Knight is still alive. Both Suras are down for
Rangers
both
are still
teams.
up.
And Exceed Breaks will go off. Let's see if this Royal Guard will be able to take someone down. Shadow Chaser targeting that Ranger. I think Full Throttle has been committed. That Ranger has really fast movement speed right here. But Exceed Breaks, I think that Ranger also of Arrogant has been masked. And Arrogant is getting damaged by this Dragon's Breath. Shadow Chaser ignorance on that Archbishop as well.
Archbishop is down.
Of course, to deal more damage to Arrogant, they need to target maybe a single player for Arrogant right here. But of course, Arrow Storms are still getting committed on team building. Siren's Voice will get casted. Arrow Storms are still landing here on team building. Team buildings, Shadow Chaser and what do you call this? That Maestro and Rune Knight is still alive. Royal Guard of Arrogant, low HP. Archbishop actually falling that Royal Guard now. And the Maestro of both sides are alive. Rune Knight is the damage dealer here of team building. And Arrogant doesn't want to commit to the fight anymore because they know they are leading. It's going to be 3 versus 4. That's why team building is chasing them down. Ooh, that Ranger got damage. And I think that Rune Knight got caught as well.
Yes.
By that Maestro's Song of Despair. Dragon's Breath will get casted once more, dealing damage to the stack there of Arrogant. As team building is busy chasing Arrogant down. Numas will get casted on the floor, of course, to prevent that Dragon's Breath from connecting to Arrogant.
Yes, I really like the
strategy. I see Ankle Snare is getting placed as well.
I really like the strategy of Arrogant right now because they know for a fact that they're on the lead for this match. They just want to buy some time. So we're actually seeing like Ankle Snares, the delays, and multiple Arrow Storm. The Ranger is trying to try to poke down one of the players on the side of team building. So I think Arrogant is on control on this match.
Maybe if that Shadow Chaser can catch someone with that his skills,
Yeah,
maybe they could
he
work
can knock
something
them
out.
down.
But again, ankle snares got placed on the floor, and now team building doesn't really know what to do at this point, and they are trying to chase Arrogant down. They are looking for a spot where they can catch them off guard. That's why they are, pushing as a team as well.
Yes. Again, no pressure on the side of Arrogant. They have the lead. Ankle snares are being thrown
Oof.
out here. So I think if team building managed to catch them, this is gonna be a good clash. So I think
Mm-hmm.
they're aware. Team building is aware where
Oh.
is Arrogant
Oh
is. So
no,
this is gonna be
Arrogant
good.
is just stuck
Dragon's
there.
Breath now. Song of Despair casting now, and right now everyone is got stuck up on that side. And big damage there coming from that Rune Knight. Rune Knight is just trying his
Ooh,
best
Arms.
to take down those players. And right now, a team
Ooh,
Arrogant
Maestro.
is sustaining everyone. And wow, I think their team building is down with 2 players.
Actually, I think
1
team
player.
building is down to one Shadow Chaser. I
Ooh.
cannot really see where he is. But team building just got caught by that trap that Arrogant just set
Yeah.
there. And they waited for them to come in. Of course, they have that Numa on the floor for them to not get damaged by that
Yeah.
Dragon's Breath. And like what I said earlier, they can't really deal that much damage anymore with that Rune Knight because again, full throttle has already been committed.
Yes.
Maybe if full throttle is still up and active, they could have dealt more damage against Arrogant right here.
Yes.
But right now, though, Rune Knight is just getting tapped here by Arrogant. They have ankle snares and Song of Despair on the floor, and Numa's on the ground for them to not get damaged
Mm-hmm.
by this Dragon's Breath. And Arrogant is just waiting for
Ooh.
this timer to go out.
Yeah. Um. Actually, Arrogant is just doing their thing around the map. They know what to do. They know how to, use every class. And the moment that they have that lead
Oh,
earlier, they just, try to buy some time and burn that timer
hmm
on their side.
and actually, Rune Knight has been taken down, and I believe no player is left for team building right now. And that's
Yes.
actually a good call there for Arrogant. They noticed that team building doesn't have any more members, or they are leading in terms of number of players. That's why they made a call to not really commit to that fight because again, they want to protect their ranger. They need to protect their ranger
Yes.
because if one of them goes down or their ranger goes down as well, no more damage dealers will be left for Arrogant. But they do have that royal guard still up and running. So maybe exceed breaks and will cause a lot more damage against team building right there.
Yeah.
But they made it work, and they made the right call at the right time. So yeah, I gotta give props to Arrogant as well. But I do like what a team building did at the
Yes.
start though.
Definitely.
Just taking down that mechanic as soon as he tried to push in, and a quick read coming from team building, but they failed to actually take care of their Sura, and because of certain circumstances that happened and the clashes that happened right there,
Yes.
it was a really great battle. But yeah, Arrogant just got the lead there and won that round as well.
Yes. And I actually noticed on the side of Arrogant, I think Arrogant has a good trade off there. They lost their Sura, but they managed to take down the Sura of team building as well, leaving them with 1 DPS, which is their ranger. And on the side of team building, they only have that Rune Knight, which is one of their DPS source. But again, yes, I agree. The DPS is not enough to take down several players, and they still have the Royal Guard on the last part of the match, which is the sustain of Team Arrogant. And I just want to give props as well on the side of Arrogant, the Ranger. The positioning of the Ranger is super good. Like when he knows that he is actually the target of team building, he just went off and vanished for a few seconds. And the moment that the heat is off on his character, he showed up and tried to take down those players immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And ankle snares.
Um,
Yeah.
maybe committing that full throttle on round number one wasn't really the best call for team building earlier.
Mm,
They could have used it more in round number two, but then again, round number one, it's a different situation, different scenario, and they didn't expect for that to happen in round number two. But yeah, because of the lack of maybe full throttle around at that round, it became difficult for team building to actually cause that huge damage that they were looking for in round number two. But
yes.
yes, Arrogant will win that match and move on to the next round. Congratulations, Arrogant. But since match number one is finish, um, yeah, match numbers two will start in a while, and the next
Yes.
match will be between
Hierarchy.
Hierarchy and Wakana.
Wakana. Let's go.
Oh,
Wakana.
yes. All right. So before we start match number two, we are going to be taking a short break. When we come
Yes.
back, it's going to be Hierarchy
Hierarchy.
versus
Wakana.
Wakana. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Hey guys, we are back here for Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, and we are now here for match number 2. And this is Hierarchy versus Wakana. MG, what are your thoughts about this match?
Well, again, these two teams are actually one of the teams that I'm actually checking lately. Because again, Hierarchy and Wakana, they have like a really aggressive play style on the top 32. So definitely for this top 16, I really want to see that aggression again coming from Hierarchy. In the same time, on the side of Wakana, I really want to see how will they take this map and how their strategy can fit and how they can actually execute those aggression plays versus Hierarchy.
Yes, well, we saw how proficient a mechanic can be in this map in match number 1, team building versus arrogant. So maybe our teams will be playing with a mechanic here in this match as well. But they can come up with different lineups as well to maybe better fit for their team and their strategies. So I'm really looking forward to see how our teams right now will push forward in this match.
Yes. And majority of the teams that we saw on the top 16, majority of their strategy is like counterplay, like reaction style. So the moment that first push, they're just gonna camp in one area. Then if one team decided to push, they're just gonna react from it. Then they just counter the mistake. They're just gonna counter the attack immediately, and they're very detailed when it comes to the mistakes. When they saw one player is gonna be out positioned, or three players are gonna be stacked in one spot, they're gonna land that suicidal destruction without any hesitation. So I
But
think that's the style for this map, like counterplay.
well, I do think being really reactive in a 7 versus 7 situation can be a huge factor in order for you to play properly in a single round. But yeah, you need to get a read on what your opponent is doing and how you want to push through in that match. Like what we saw in round number 2 of match number 1. Um, it was Arrogant who noticed that team building was lacking in members, or they have more members than team building. That's why they actually backed off and just tried to wait for them and bait them out and lure them to a trap that they did in that round.
Yes.
But yeah, of course, here for match number 2, it might play out differently. Maybe we'll see more aggressive fights happen and just clashing at the middle immediately, or they might really go around each other and just meet at a certain spot, not really taking that middle position, but because again, that position is, or that spot is really dangerous, especially if you are dealing with a heavy AoE
Yes.
damage dealer like a
Yes.
mechanic or maybe a ranger.
Yes, I agree on that one. Again, for this map, we are actually seeing a huge percentage of a ranger class plus the mechanic as well. Like majority of the teams that we have for top 16, either they're gonna go for a mechanic or they're gonna go for a ranger. So
Or maybe both, right?
yeah, or
Maybe
both.
both.
Like why not just put
Yeah.
both? Yeah.
All right.
So it's about the execution as well. Like even if you have those classes, it all boils down to the execution and the confidence on how you can deliver that strategy on the field.
All right, so let's talk about lineups. MG, what do you have right there?
Yes, on the side of hierarchy, we have the 5 core classes, of course, and of course they're rocking that ranger and mechanic on their side.
And for the side of Wakana, they are rocking with a ranger and a warlock. Actually,
Ooh.
here in this round, so quite excited to see what will happen. But full throttle has been committed by Wakana right here by 2 members though, and a curse circle has been committed by Wakana, but no follow up. What happened? Gates of Hell will land here against hierarchy or against hierarchy,
Yeah.
but Arrow Storms will get pushed off by
Missile
Wakana.
destruction.
Wakana taking down one by from hierarchy, and hierarchy just positioning themselves in a spot where they can be a little bit safe here.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
And
they're kind of low.
Hierarchy is just backing down actually, and Wakana is at a different spot. And I actually didn't see that Suicidal Destruction connect. But Hierarchy is just playing it a little bit safe. They have five more members left here for their team. And how about for Wakana
I
right
think
here? Do
Wakane
they
right
still
now.
have some DPS damage dealers?
Yes, right now Wakane is just sitting with like two members right now, and
Mm-hmm.
they have the Archbishop and the Minstrel. They're just running away for the meantime. I'm not sure how they can actually pull this off, but I think on the side of Hierarchy, they have this. They still have those damagers up and running.
Mm-hmm. And Hierarchy, they still have that Sura. They have a mechanic without the Mado, and they have that Ranger. And yeah, like what we said earlier, why not play with both mechanic and Ranger,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, that's the. I think that's the meta for this map. That
Mm-hmm.
Ranger and mechanic. Um, Actually, there's a good trade on the first part of the push, like a full throttle, curse circle, but no follow up on the side of Wakana, so they didn't capitalize on that curse circle. But you know, reaction is everything for this map, so they decided to. I mean, Hierarchy decided to counter initiate with the Suicidal Destruction trade. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was a really risky play there for Wakana earlier. Both or two members from Wakana really committed that full throttle. That professor or rather that sorcerer and that ranger that they
Yes.
have committed that full throttle as well. So it became quite difficult for them to move slowly because again full throttle only lasts for a few seconds. And they really need to commit immediately. Maybe they use that full throttle to really take that center spot quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't work out well for them. Turn Undead actually getting casted
Oh,
here on Hierarchy. That mechanic, Gates of Hell will connect.
here we go.
High speed car trams on the Archbishop.
Raging.
Archbishop just trying to survive.
sustain.
High speed car tram and
Yeah.
Gates of Hell to take that Archbishop down as Hierarchy will be getting round number 1.
Yes. A good push there coming from Wakana, but the counter coming from Hierarchy is just insane. So yeah. Counter plays.
Mm-hmm. And I like how Hierarchy positioned themselves in the spot. Uh, they have that magnetic earth on the floor earlier,
Yeah.
but they noticed that they are using that ranger to deal damage against them. So arrow storms connected on their members. They lost Hierarchy, lost their royal guard.
Yeah.
They also lost their sorcerer. So they reacted to that.
Yeah.
Like what we were saying earlier, you need to be reactive. You need to know who your opponents are or what characters they are using. You need to position yourselves in a spot wherein you can counter their plays. So that's what Hierarchy did in that round, and it
Yes.
worked out well for them in that one.
Yes. To be fair, it did work well. And I just want to point out as well on like how Hierarchy is positioning their character on that match is really nice. Because again, they have that good enough spacing. Like I think they're aware of the arrow storm that can hit them. So majority of their players are kind of scattered, so the damage won't hit that hard on their members. And at the same time, I think yes, that curse circle is kind of off for me on that push. There is no sync between the members of the side on the side of Wakana. They don't have that sync. The moment that the curse circle landed, they have at least like 3 seconds of time to punish down Hierarchy, but the punish didn't happen on the side of Wakana. But instead, Hierarchy managed to land that Suicidal Destruction and managed to take down those two players immediately. So yeah.
Well, I gotta agree with you on that one. Curse Circle was committed on Hierarchy.
Yeah.
They could have landed their shots, right?
True.
They could have
Yeah.
landed their shots. But I believe it was a miscommunication on their part for Wakana. Because again, no, there were no follow-ups, or rather, they didn't push to the middle or to that side of the map. They stuck themselves in the middle, and maybe that Sura was a little bit too aggressive right there. But I like how they casted that curse circle catching their DPS damage dealers. But yeah, if you don't have a follow up damage dealer for Wakana, it will all be pointless because again, what else can you do? But you disable your opponent, but where is the DPS? Where is the
Yes.
damage? You're looking for these things, but unfortunately for Wakana in round number 1, we didn't see that happen. So that's why they got taken advantage of by hierarchy in that
Yes.
round. But maybe round number 2 will be different for Wakana. Of course, they are still rocking that Warlock
Yes.
and Ranger, so maybe we'll see some no limits and intense telekinesis get committed right here in
Yes.
this round, and just push for them immediately. Be more aggressive and maybe have better communication to take down hierarchy in round number 2. But for hierarchy, let's see if they can commit the same play because again, I believe these two teams really know what to do.
Yeah.
They know how to position themselves in the map. They've prepared for this and
Yes.
they are ready for the
Yes.
battle.
Yes, like definitely we saw how prepared they are, the reaction time. But again, Wakana, I really like their lineup to be fair. That curse circle could be like a winning break for them earlier. Their lineup is really nice. They don't need to commit that so much like close range damage because they are rocking with their warlock and ranger, so they can actually burst them down like from a distance, right? But that didn't happen. But yeah, I think they should use their full throttle in order to close the gap between that curse circle and from their spot earlier. But I think it's kind of too late, and that Sura decided just
and
to go
MG
out.
committing that full throttle is risky as well.
Yeah.
Aside from just maybe using it in a different round, there is a drawback for using the full throttle, especially when the timer's up for full throttle. You get some massive drawbacks, and you don't want that to happen as you are pushing in or taking down your opponents. So maybe getting the right call or making the right call for a single round can be the best case scenario for a team, because again, you really don't want to make mistakes, especially this is round number 2. This
Yes.
is if for Wakana, if they don't make a comeback here in this round.
Yes, I agree on that one. But again, I think on the side of Wakana as well, that Sura needs to check first the positioning of his teammates before landing that curse circle, right? Because again, he might, he might lose his HP there because he just jumping alone or something, right? So again, positioning is the key. You need to check your teammates' position versus your position. If you're gonna play Sura, you need to be careful and you need to connect with your teammates if you're gonna do an offensive curse circle.
And now round number 2. Let's talk about lineups. Do we have a change of lineups there for Wakana, MG?
There's actually no change on the side of Wakana. They're still rocking the 5 core classes, the Ranger and the Warlock.
And for the side of hierarchy, of course, they have that mechanic and ranger still. Let's see what will happen here. Front slides here from hierarchy. They are quickly pushing in, but of course, that's a nice vacuum there.
Yeah.
By Wakana, just stopping the track there of that mechanic. Of course, front side will go out without distraction. Oh my goodness, landed on 3 members right there of Wakana as hierarchy just quickly pushing in, taking them down. And I believe one got hit by the turn and then as well, as it was a quick push coming from hierarchy.
Wow. Like, we're actually discussing just few moments ago that vacuum actually did a good job on blocking that bridge, but that Swiss distraction, the confidence coming from that mechanic, landing that on top of Wakana was really good. Wow.
It was a quick push coming from hierarchy. They know what to do, basically. They know what to do. And they quickly pushed as soon as they removed that vacuum of the floor. Of course, magnetic earth. Then Hierarchy just quickly pushed in. Mechanic positioned himself well. Front slide, suicidal destruction as he went in, taking three members down. Gates of Hell getting
Ooh.
followed by the following that suicidal destruction, taking one more. So that's four. Three members left. Gates of Hell finished them off, along with that arrow storms coming from that ranger. So, massive DPS coming from Hierarchy, just taking Wakana down in that round.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Like the tempo, the spacing, the positioning of one member versus their teammates. It should be like really not super stacked, but the positioning is not too far but not too close as well, right? I think the tempo they're coming from Hierarchy, their tempo is really good. Like everyone is on sync on their movement, the placement as well. They know that the mechanic is gonna go in, right? For a suicidal destruction, everyone followed immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's gonna.
That's
He knows that mechanic knows he's gonna drop the suicidal destruction. He knows that his teammates is gonna follow him up. That's a really good coordination coming from Hierarchy.
Yes, a great call coming from Hierarchy indeed, as they will push on to the top 8 and winning this match against Wakana.
Yes.
But that's going to be it for match number 2. Match number 3 is going to be between Team Passions versus Scythe-like. Yes, but before we head on to that match, we
Yes.
are going to take a short break. When we come back, it's going to be match number 3. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Hey guys, we are back here at Ragnarok Asian Masters 2023, and now we are heading on to match number 3. MG, what do you think about
Yes.
this one?
Actually, this is actually one of the Team Passions is actually one of the teams that I'm actually looking forward to see on their matches. Actually, same goes with Sightlight. Again, on the side of Team Passions, I want to see because on their last match they're very precise on their movement, and they know what to do and they know what to target. So I want to see how they're gonna use that on this map, because again this map is kind of changing everything up for every teams that we saw on the first top 32. And on the side of Sidelight, aggression and aggression. So let's see.
Well, we do have a lot of choke points in this map as what we saw in the earlier rounds. But yeah, it really depends on how you play. We've been seeing this all over again for a few times now, but it will depend on how you play and what characters you are using. And so far, the teams that utilized both the ranger and a mechanic, were successful here in this map, especially for the previous two matches that we just had.
Yes, I mean, if we're talking about like win rate on this on top 16, definitely you need to have like ranger or mechanic or both, right? I think
Mm-hmm.
if you're rocking with a rune knight, or yeah, maybe rune knight, I mean, it's still good, but again, the classes. I mean, if you're gonna use the class of a ranger and mechanic, it's gonna be really good for this map. Again, you mentioned choke point, yes, and how you counter your enemies on those choke points. If they're gonna commit, you can counter. If they're gonna commit, you can actually dive in and launch that massive damage on top of your enemy. So yeah.
Yeah, it really depends on how you use it. Playing with a Rune Knight is not bad. As well as a Shadow Chaser, you
Mm-hmm.
just need to know how to really utilize it, especially in this map since there are a lot of choke points. So you can't really have that much mobility compared to the other maps that we have
Yes.
for Ragnarok Asia Masters. But yeah, I think playing with the Rune Knight is not really that bad because again you can utilize the small area, especially in the middle, to cast that Dragon's Breath. Multiple opponents will get caught by that Dragon's Breath, and if you commit that full throttle, yeah, that can be an option to deal more damage. But again, your whole team needs to commit with you as well. And so far, there were no warlocks that were successful here in this maps, or teams that utilized a warlock for this map. So maybe we'll see a warlock getting utilized maybe later
Yeah,
on.
maybe.
But yeah, we are now here at the starting point of match number 3, Team
Yes.
Passions versus Sci-Flight. Let's talk about the lineups, MG.
Yes, on the side of Passions, they're rocking the 5 core classes, the Rune Knight, Archbishop, the Sorcerer, sorry, Minstrel, and the Sura. And the two classes that they added for this match is gonna be the Rune Knight and the Shadow Chaser.
And for the side of Sci-Flight, we said this earlier, they are rocking with that Ranger and Mechanic.
Wow.
So this is going to be a very dangerous lineup because again, the previous two matches that used this lineup were very much successful. So maybe this is going to be a repeat for that one. But who knows? Maybe Team Passions, this is a chance for them to prove us wrong that, there are better classes to use.
Yes. I mean, they saw multiple teams using this classes, so definitely they know the adjustment. They know what to do on this one. It's just they just need to have like a better execution for their team in order for them to launch a better attack versus the opponents that they're gonna have.
Mhm. Yeah, right now though, Team Passions just holding their ground, same for what Scythe-like is doing. Scythe-like just waiting for maybe Team Passions to push in. Of course, they are using that mechanic, so maybe they want to bait them out in a single choke point, so for them to land that suicidal destruction perfectly.
Yeah. I think that's the case on the side of site. Like um they just want to bait out Team Passions on their side, so they can actually either land that Swisal Destruction. If that Swisal Destruction didn't land perfectly, they can actually punish Team Passions with the Arrow Storm. Because again, you need
Mm-hmm.
to regroup first and refresh everything, including your HP on the side of Team Passions if they're gonna be hit by that Swisal Destruction. So that can actually give a quick few seconds for the Ranger to punish everyone on the side of side like.
Mm-hmm. Now, Team Passions really just waiting for Scythe right here, but Scythe already occupied the center of the map, and now they are just going to make a simple push, or maybe just just small steps forward, just to ensure that they have a nice spot, and maybe whoever makes the first move here will be able to take advantage of the other team. Because again, there are advantages of catching someone here in the center of the map.
Yes. And I really like what Team Passion is doing right now. They're just taking their time. Plus, they're actually putting their Shadow Chaser on the scout right now. So that element of surprise on the side of Sightlike is not possible because again, Team Passion is aware of the positioning of Sightlike right now. And I just want to comment as well the positioning of the location, the positioning of the backlane of Team Passions here. Like right now, they're kind of scattered. You have the Rune Knight facing on the north side, just in case that there's gonna be an engagement. The Rune Knight will just take that damage on that first push coming from Sightlike. Then everyone can just flank in and punish Sightlike.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Team Passions just holding their ground. Their Rune Knight is going to be next. Of course, Shadow Chaser, like what you said, is the first one who will probably see their opponents, and they're just making sure that they have a Scythe at bay. So when they might commit a push later on, they will have the advantage. But of course, we saw some arrow storms get casted right here from Scythe. Not sure who it landed on here on my end, but yeah, they were able to push a single arrow storm. Maybe someone got caught. But yeah, Scythe is just waiting for Team Passions to push in as well. They are just holding their ground and maybe preparing for a push right here against Team Passions.
Yes. And I think both teams is very careful on their playstyle because again, they know for a fact that they only have like 4 minutes, and if that 4 minutes goes down to the last two or last minute for this match, they need to pick off at least one player. Then everyone can actually just roam around and buy some time, or yeah, end the timer for their side.
Well, we've seen this happen in day or the first day of our pre-quarter finals or the top
Yeah.
16. Um, wherein they really waited for that timer to go down and just battle each other the last 30 seconds of the match. And I'm not sure that's a good option for Team Passions right here, because they have more of a well-rounded lineup. They are playing with that Rune Knight, like what you said, and Scythe can deal more damage. So they are more. They are. You could say they are able to dish out more damage in a 30-second match if that's what they're pushing for,
Yes.
or 30-second clash rather.
Yes. And I think on the side of for this one is they need to tank the Swisal Destruction. The moment that they manage to tank the Swisal Destruction, it's gonna be a snowball push coming from Team Passions. Because the only thing that's stopping them from pushing is that Swisal Destruction and that Arrow Storm. But I think they can actually tank the Arrow Storm if there's gonna be a trade in. I would rather disable the Suicidal Destruction versus the Arrow Storm, because on the Arrow Storm you can actually use your potions or heal it out to regain your HP again. So maybe that's the case here on the side of Team Passions. You just don't want to overcommit and have that mistake on pushing and having that or force that choke point scenario on their team.
And Yeah, they're really not pushing each other right now, so we might be down to the last minute before they actually fight each other. But of course, Arrow Storms will land here on that Shadow Chaser of Team Passions, and now Scythe is preparing to push in. Team Passions just holding their ground. Scythe trying to push in. Front slides will go in. No, backslide, front
Front
slide,
slide.
another
Oh,
front
Dragon's
slide.
Breath.
Gates of Hell. Ooh.
Almost.
Mechanic is using potions. Of
Dragon's
course,
Breath.
front
Suicidal
slide once
Distraction.
again. Dragon's Breath catching that mechanic
Oh.
off guard. And maybe because there are ankle snares on the floor, they are not really
Here we go.
that quick. They're pushing in, but Arrow Storms will connect.
Suicidal Destruction.
And Suicidal Destruction
Oh.
with that circle landing on Team Passions, taking them down very, very quickly. And that Maestro Lex Eterna plus Gates of Hell
Wow.
taking him out as Team Scythe with a good execution taking this round.
Wow. Like sight like they just decided to just go in. And the execution, a left and right execution coming from their team. That was really good. Curse Circle. Like the baits coming from the mechanic, like front slide, backslide. It actually helped them on setting the phase for their team.
Well, what I can say for Team Passions, they are trying to prepare themselves for that mechanic suicidal destruction. But of course, that mechanic baited them out. Of course, front slide, backslide, and because of the ankle snares on the floor, it's not really that easy to push your, push that suicidal destruction because you really can't walk if you get caught.
Yes.
And they just didn't prepare themselves that much for that ranger. And a very good curse circle coming from the Sura of a Scythe really caught them there. Curse circle, suicidal destruction, then that finished them off. Maestro was the only one left, and Gates of Hell to land on that last member of Team Passion to finish that round. And it was a very good execution coming from Scythe. But Team Passions really played played well defensively. I can say because
Yeah.
again they were preparing themselves against that suicidal destruction. They moved away from that magnetic earth because they know they are going to deal with the arrow storms of that ranger,
Yes.
and they just didn't get prep. They were just not ready for that curse circle and
Yes.
suicidal destruction to land immediately. So maybe because they know that can happen, they might change their strategy. They can be more aggressive. They can push forward at the start of the match.
Yes, I think that's Curse Circle is a big surprise coming from Team Passions. Again, majority of the fights that they or the fights that they had on the top 32 on the side of Team Passions, majority of the suras there are built for offense. Like this is actually the first time that they had a sura on the opponent side playing a utility playstyle, wherein he's actually creating the space for the team. So the moment that the Sura saw that stacking on the side of Team Passions, without any hesitation, he just went in Curse Circle, connecting to like 3 players or 4 players or 3 players, I think. Then Suicidal Destruction, a 1-2 combo connecting to Team Passions, and that eliminated the core players of Team Passion. So,
But you know,
really
MG, actually, it wasn't that Sura that I can say that really did it for stuff. Like it was the team coordination from all these members. But the first one to actually really scout for Side Lake was their sorcerer in round number 1.
Oh,
Sorcerer was the first one who actually went across that bridge
yeah.
and placing that vacuums on the floor, of course followed by the magnetic earth, and that mechanic is a tough one as well, just front slide backslide baiting their opponents out. And Gates of Hell landed on that mechanic and he almost got eliminated. Maybe a follow-up Dragon's Breath will actually finish him off at that time, or maybe 2 Gates of Hell if that sort of Team Passions was able to land 2, that could take that mechanic out quickly. But that didn't happen there for Team Passions, and they were really prepared to take on the damage that Scythe is able to bring. But again, a surprise attack and good team
Yes.
coordination can beat a very well set up defense. So
Yes.
yeah, I am looking forward to more aggression maybe for Team Passions at this round because again they are um it's a 1-0 situation right now for this match.
Yes.
So Sci-Like is leading. So they can't really commit that many mistakes
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And they really need to take Sci-Like down for them to, push this match to round number 3.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes, I think I really agree on that one because again, the fights happened on a open area. It's not like a bridge choke point fight, right? So I think on the side of Team Passions, they can actually do an open field fight versus Sight-like. So if that happened, I think they should put the aggression put their aggression on their priority, then just snowball. Like, don't let Sight like react anymore. Just push and do the pressure immediately, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the play that they should go for this one. Just set the tempo. Don't make them any don't give them any air to breathe on that push.
But yeah, we'll see how it goes for round number 2, MG. Let's head on to the starting point. Of course, it's still Team Passions versus Team Sci-Like, and both teams are ready for the battle. What do you have on your lineup right there for Team Sci-Like?
Yes, on the for team side like guys, there's no changes on their lineup. They still have that mechanic, that danger is mechanic, and the ranger danger on their side.
Mm-hmm. For Team Passions, they're still, using the same lineup. Of course, that Rune Knight and that Shadow Chaser. So maybe they can be a little bit more aggressive right here. Maybe Full Throttles will can get committed right here in this round.
Yeah.
Because this is really going to be a tough battle for Team Passions. They cannot lose this round.
Yes, and as you can see, the Sura on the side of side like is having like 50% HP, so definitely he just want to go for that quick Prayer Circle, and right now
Upper circle though, Magnetic Suicide Destruction immediately. Team Passions getting caught there, but Vacuums will get cast on the floor. But of course, Team Passions just really want to take someone down with them, but Side-like just trying to survive here. Dragon's Breath attack here coming from Team Passions, but Arrow Storms will connect on Team Passions as well. Lex Eterna targeting that source. And I believe that Sorcerer of Team Passions went down because of that Arrow Storm. And Arrow Storm is just connecting right here against Sci-Like and against Team Passions. And Sci-Like is just quickly attacking. Exceed Break, Arrow Storms, just following up the damage. And is that Fireball, Dicey? But Dragon's Breath was confined, of course, coming from that Shadow Chaser. And they are just trying to deal that much damage against the remaining members here of Team Passions, but Team Passions still has 2 members here. Shadow Chaser can still do it right here, but they are at a disadvantage for. Team Passions are at a disadvantage because again, you are dealing with 4 support or utility classes right here. Exceed Breaks will go off, trying to take down that Rune Knight.
Yes,
and I like how the maestro of Sight-like is positioning himself. He doesn't want to let that Rune Knight get that magic strings or braggy.
Yes, that's actually good positioning coming from Maestro. He's very keen on the positioning as well, making sure that the only players that's getting affected by his braggy is his teammates. So good positioning there. Plus the Ranger, I'm not sure if you saw the Ranger. He's actually just an in-out strategy coming from that Ranger, making sure that he has a perfect aim for those characters who's really squishy and the priority targets. So the in-out strategy coming from that Ranger, the aggressiveness was really good. That was really good.
And yeah, a very very quick push there for Sci-like. Surprised Team Passions again on that round. And Team Passions really did well right there.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they weren't able to protect much of their members because multiple DPS damage dealers coming from side like Aerostorm, Suicidal Destruction, Gates of Hell. You need to take into account all of those characters that Scythe like was using. So it's pretty much a difficult situation right there for Team Passions. But then again, a valiant effort coming from Team Passions right here. But they failed to take that round. That means
Yes.
Scythe like will be moving on to the next round, to the top 8
Yes.
of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
Oof. Just imagine right now, Ranger and Mechanic meta for top 16. Like on the first on top 32, like we barely see any Ranger lineups. And right now, Rangers are dominating the top 16.
Well,
Wow.
you know, MG, it's probably because of the map changes that we had.
Yeah.
In map number 2, of course, it's the snowy map, and you know, you really
Is
don't
it-
want
yeah.
to have, or you can. It's a small map that you can utilize your mobility because there are not a lot of choke points.
Yeah.
Compared to this map, map number 3, of course, there are bridges. There is really a center point.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, the teams really prepare themselves to use the best characters that is possible for this map.
Yes.
And yeah, gotta give props to our players right here. But that's going to be it for match number 3.
Yes.
Next match will be match number 4, Resonance versus Immunity. As teams are just prepping themselves up. We are going to be heading on to a short break.
Yes.
When we come back, it's going to be match number 4. So sit back, relax, and stay tuned. And we are back here at Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023, and we are now ready for match number 4, the last match for tonight, and also the last match for the top 16.
Yes.
Who is the last team that will make it to the top 8? MG, what do you think about this match?
Well, both teams on the first on their first match on the top 32 managed to secure a 2-0. Resonance managed to secure a win for a 2-0. Immunity, on the other hand, managed to secure as well a 2-0. So it's really hard to determine, like, is Resonance gonna be more dominant versus Immunity, or Immunity is gonna be immune to those 2-0s and they can land that 2-0 versus Resonance. So let's see. It's more about the classes. Yes, yes.
It's kind of difficult to understand
Yeah.
what you just said.
Oh yeah. Well, to
All
be
right.
fair, it's more on the classes, like we know. Like who has the
Mm-hmm.
Ranger mechanic has a more, has a higher winning percentage, basically. So yeah.
Well, let's see. But we've seen that the teams that really utilize the mechanic in the Ranger in this map really work out well. So it's now a 3-0 victory for a Ranger mechanic lineup
Yeah.
now for today in map number 3. And yeah, maybe we'll see more of that here in match number 4 for tonight, MG.
Yes. Hopefully we can see a different class maybe that they can actually utilize for this last match for top 16. I'm very keen on seeing a variation of strategies as well for this one. So hopefully.
Mm-hmm. And both teams are just getting ready, and they're almost all set. Of course, this is going to be the last match for tonight. For those of you guys who are watching, how are you all? And hopefully you're still having a wonderful night right here watching Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And I'm interested to see who will make it to the top 8 of our bracket right now. Because again, these teams are really prepared themselves to take on the best of the best. So they are just getting ready to really get the victory here in this match.
Yes, and to be fair, I think the second group that we have for top 16, they actually landed more suicidal destruction compared to the first group of top 16. To be fair, so I think they have a lot more success on the suicidal destruction. Maybe because they watched the first group, maybe, or they just specialize on mechanics. So yeah.
Maybe they watched some of the clips that we had in the first round or the first set of matches here in this map. So that's why they changed their lineups, they changed their playstyle to better get a reading or a fit for for this kind of situation. And so far though, we've seen the effectiveness of utilizing mechanic and a ranger in this map, and both teams are just really neck and neck against each other. But we haven't seen that much of a advantage with using a rune knight in map number 3, because in map number 2 it was a rune knight and shadow chaser who took most of the matches.
Yes.
Or rather in map number 2, in the round 1 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. So it was a Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser lineup that did the best in in that round 1 of the bracket. But here in this map, in map number 3, wherein there are a lot of choke points and there are bridges, in order for your to stop your opponents from pushing that quickly, mechanics using those decoys.
Yeah.
Rangers just preparing themselves to cast that arrow storm, and they can reach the other party with that arrow storm if they have that long range advantage against them. So just that preparation coming from these teams really did well for them. That's why they won the matches, because again, preparation is a part of the match. You need to prepare yourselves for these kinds of situations. And after this is actually going to be the last match or last match that we're going to have in this map.
Yes.
Because when we move on to the quarterfinals and semifinals and the finals, we'll be playing in or map number 4.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, which we might see some different classes getting utilized there as well.
Yes. But right now, the success of other teams are actually mainly on the Ranger and the Mechanic right
Mhm.
now. I think the win rate of the Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser for this map is kind of low compared to the top 32 matches. Yes, and I agree because of the terrain, because of the map as well. Because again, the map is very tight. If you're gonna land a Sweet Soul Destruction or an Arrow Storm, you can actually, I mean, your opponent cannot actually maneuver outside of that periphery. So
Mhm.
maybe that's why they're utilizing those classes, because the range and the cells of that attack can actually capture almost half of that cell on an open field fight for map number 3.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see how it goes, of course, for this match, as some players are experiencing some quite of a bit of technical difficulties right here, so that's why there's a bit of a delay. But nevertheless, we'll still push through. And I believe all is set right now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think our GMs are kind of checking it. Yes, I think we're good
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah, I think we're good now. And ooh, let's actually talk about the lineup of these two teams again. I can see here our Rune Knight and the Shadow Chaser in the lineup of Resonance.
Yes.
And for the side of Immunity, there is a Ranger and that Mechanic. So will Immunity take this round as well, because they are using a more meta lineup for
Yeah.
this map?
Yes, but I think if Resonance can manage to close the gap between Immunity, they can take down the core players and leave the Ranger maybe on the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But it still depends, because again, the Ranger can actually outmaneuver everyone because of that camouflage, in out strategy, that Arrow Storm.
Mm-hmm.
So it still depends on how Resonance can, close the gap on
Mm-hmm.
Immunity.
Yeah, maybe if they push really quickly against their opponents, or Resonance pushes in the middle, in the center spot, and utilizing that Shadow Chaser, just quickly maneuvering against Immunity right here, maybe they can make a difference. But we'll see now, as
Here we
round
go.
number 1 of match number 4 just started, and Immunity immediately positioned themselves at a spot wherein they are fairly safe. Same with Resonance, not really trying to commit a fight immediately as the round started.
Yes. And I think right now, I think most of the teams right now is aware that they need to catch the enemy off guard, especially if they're not moving. So I think we're gonna see a push here quickly from, I think Immunity will initiate on this one.
Mm-hmm. I like how they're utilizing their Shadow Chaser to scout in.
Yeah.
Because again, they just want to be safe. They need to be safe. Because getting targeted by that Ranger plus Mechanic plus, Gates of Hell from that Sura is going to
Yes.
be quite dangerous for your team. Again,
Yes.
with the multiple DPS class lineup, it's quite difficult to prevent all the damage that you take. So you need to choose one.
Yep. Yeah, like we have had on our last match, like it's actually a good um of offense. Like if you have the Ranger, you have the Mechanic, and you have the Sura. The Sura can actually go for a utility, or the Sura can actually go for a DPS. So those types of mind games is that you need to consider for the matches. So I think on the side of Resonance, they're doing good. They have a scout on the south side. They have the scout on the north side, preventing um massive casualties on their side. So I think they just need to wait here for a bit, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
not. Maybe they just want to move and push Immunity here.
Mm-hmm. As Immunity is just waiting for Resonance to push in. Resonance just quickly making their mark. I'm not sure if Immunity knows where they are right now. Immunity already spotted, or rather Resonance already spotted Immunity right here with the Shadow Chaser. Magnetic Earth will connect right here, but they need to be careful. Vacuums on the floor. And as you can see, Resonance is trying to scatter themselves here because they are dealing with that mechanic and Ranger. So now they actually, or Resonance quickly casted that Deluge on the floor for them to prevent that Arrow Storm from pushing in. But mechanic from Immunity just front slide, back slide to bait maybe someone out from Resonance and attack them when they actually push in.
Yes,
But Resonance playing it safe here. That log in the middle though.
yes, it's actually kind of like hindering the mechanic to do a frontside on this one. And at the same time, as you can see on the side of Immunity, their Sura is using a or he's actually up for a utility type maybe. He just want to catch the side of a Resonance to group up, and he can actually land that quicker circle. So I think Immunity right now is trying to advance here. Quick land protector here, a quick poke there coming from the mechanic. Mechanic is trying to scout out, making sure that if he's gonna do a front slide, it's gonna be a perfect one for them. But again, Resonance, they keep on moving on this quick land protector. Then they're approaching now, but I think Immunity decided to paddle back on this.
As Resonance will move away as well. They want to reposition themselves in a spot where they can't really get caught by that Arrow Storms because maybe that Arrow Storm was dealing that much damage against Resonance right here. That's why they want to reposition themselves in a spot where they really can't get hit that much.
Yeah. Plus, I think that log as well is kind of messing up the position of for the mechanic as well. That's why they went out for a bit. Okay.
And Immunity actually at a different spot right now. Resonance just want to really push in against Immunity right here. And there you go, Magnetic Earth on the floor, connecting once again. They are Immunity is actually just baiting out Resonance right here, but again, Immunity is just running away, moving to a different spot again. So I'm not sure what's their call on this one. Maybe because they just don't want to get caught, or they're playing the cat and mouse game. Just wait for the timer to go down and make Resonance commit the skills or the utility that they have.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's the plan on the side of
Oh! Suicide destruction though on that bridge! But I believe 4 members of Resonance got caught there. Exceed breaks will go off, targeting that sorcerer though. But Dragon's Breath from Resonance targeting Immunity. Immunity is getting damaged by that Rune Knight, as that Rune Knight is clearly using that Dragon's Breath to deal a lot of damage here against Immunity. But that Shadow Chaser just moving in, just distracting and making sure to use all of his skill set to disable Immunity right here. But what a nice suicidal destruction play coming from Immunity right there, just landing that SD on the bridge as Immunity will back away and move on to a different spot.
Yes, that curse circle was super nice on that bridge. I think that's the plan on the side of Immunity. They just want Resonance to run. They just want Resonance to keep on running and chasing them, because again, they have the tool that they can lock those players. They have the curse circle plus the damage, suicidal destruction on top of that. So I think they just maximize the mobility plus the lock. Okay, so I think right now.
Yes. So it's a 5 versus 6 situation actually, MG. Resonance is caught for time as Immunity knows that they have the advantage because they have more players right here. But the Resonance just quickly want to catch on to them right here. With only that Rune Knight and Rune Knight to deal damage along with that Shadow Chaser, maybe Shadow Formation. But Immunity just wants to back down. Of course, Arrow Storms will connect. And Resonance, the Shadow Chaser of the Resonance has that Jack Frost on hand. basically to deal maybe more
Gates of
damage right here, but Immunity got caught. Resonance
we
though,
go.
dealing damage, and Dragon's Breath multiple. Oh, the
Oh!
all card of Immunity went down as Dragon's Breath killing Immunity one by one. Lex Eterna, Sorcerer of Immunity is still up and alive. Archbishop as well as Resonance. Oh, who took the victory right here?
Uh,
Is it Immunity?
I
Is
think it's
it
Resonance.
Resonance?
Yeah, I think it's Resonance.
Resonance has 5 members. Immunity, I think, is down to 3.
Three,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. What a play there coming from Resonance.
Well, that was a good match coming from these two guilds.
Uh-huh. And but let's actually wait for the call right here on this one. And my goodness, what a play coming from Resonance right there. Immunity, I believe they ran too much in that
Yeah.
round.
Or it's Resonance.
They ran away too much. They could have committed a suicidal destruction followed by more arrow storms, but again, Rune Knight just dealing massive damage to them on that part of the map at the top or top right
Yes.
part of the map, the bridge area. That Rune Knight just quickly went in. He didn't get caught by a suicidal destruction. So suicidal destruction landed perfectly. I'm just not sure how many players of Resonance got taken down from that one. Maybe that Royal Guard just tanked all the damage of that suicidal destruction with that sacrifice. And Sura of Resonance went down as well. But I believe that was for, in a different situation because he got maybe targeted by that Ranger. And he was just not able to keep up with his HP. Again, Gates of Hell coming from Immunity as well. But that can be a call for Immunity to really just attack Resonance right there.
Yes.
But for some reason, Immunity really wanted to back down at that time. They ran away. And I'm not sure what was their plan. Basically, because it was a 5 versus 6 situation. And Resonance didn't really have a Sura.
Yeah.
They had the Shadow Chaser though. Royal Guard was not up. So if they could have targeted a single member. Again, that Sura can deal damage. Gates of Hell.
Yeah.
Arrow Storms can deal damage as well. There is no defending aura. So maybe Immunity just made the wrong call on that one.
Well, I think my take on that one, I think Immunity played the perfect strategy on the first part. Like they just want to catch Resonance off guard, landing that suicidal destruction, but apparently the damage was not enough to take down some players. I think they managed to take down like one player, yes. And one player is getting hit big time by a ranger maybe. But during the second part of the match, like we saw like Immunity still out there and running, wherein they have the advantage. They have like a 5v6 scenario, yeah, but they still push their strategy on keep on rotating on the map. And the moment that they saw Resonance on the clash, I think that they don't have any plan to how to counter, because again the plan on the side of Immunity is basically run down the time, right? So the moment the clash hits and Resonance still have the Rune Knight, the Rune Knight can actually put high pressure on all characters, because the rest of the characters of Immunity is technically glass cannons, right? So they can actually die immediately on that Dragon's Breath. So I think Immunity did their part, but the clash there is out of their plan for me.
Well, maybe they have a different strategy in mind regarding that battle. But anyway, Resonance took that round, and it's actually the first time we saw a Rune Knight actually take a round here. A Rune Knight Shadow Chaser lineup. So maybe this is going to be the end of a mechanic ranger meta in map number 3.
Finally.
But as I said earlier, this is the last match for this map
Yeah.
because next week at the start of our quarterfinals, we'll be moving on to match number or map 4. So maybe Immunity needs to change their strategy a little bit right here to better cope up with the situation, and maybe for Resonance, they can put their aggression to the test. They can catch or they can attack Immunity immediately
Yeah.
as we enter this round or we start this round.
Yes, but for me, I think my take is they should stick with their plan on the immunity, on the side of immunity. They need to make resonance run and catch them off guard again. But this time, they should take at least 2 to 3 members on that suicidal destruction. Because again, resonance has the confidence. They know that they need to close the gap between immunity, and they're gonna take it definitely. So immunity needs to stick with their plan for round number 2, and that's my take for this one.
Yes, as you know, timer has been set. MG, so excited to see this one. Will Resonance be able to take this round as well, or will Immunity come up with a different strategy and push this match to round number 3?
Yes, pretty excited again. Mechanic Ranger meta for top 16. Resonance breaking that code versus immunity. So let's go ahead and check if Resonance can
Well,
take
we'll
the
see.
2-0.
We'll see. It's not yet over, but
Yes.
round number 2 is going to start. Resonance just quickly moving in to their spot on the map, while Immunity will do the same thing actually.
Yep. Okay, I think right now immunity is on an awkward spot again with this log. They can actually use this as a advantage. The moment that someone pushes, they can counter initiate immediately on this one. That's why they want to stay on this south side of their respawn point.
And now Immunity just in I think this is what happened in round number 1 as well. They were in this spot at the start of that round, so maybe they don't really want to commit immediately at the start of the round because Resonance knows that Immunity has that ranger, Immunity has that mechanic as well. So if they push in immediately and they are not prepared to counter that suicidal destruction, that's going to be over for Resonance right there. But I like what they did with countering that suicidal destruction earlier. After Immunity landed that suicidal destruction, because most of them were sacrificed by that Royal Guard. Only that Royal Guard probably went down by that suicidal destruction, and that Sura of Resonance was caught by the Sura of Immunity, Sura and Ranger.
Yes. I think yes, and I really like immunity taking the middle earlier. I think for me, they should be staying at the middle because again, they have all the classes to take advantage of that middle part. Again, they have the ranger, they have the mechanic, but again, the problem there is
Curse Circle though from Immunity, so despair, but Curse Circle, counter Curse Circle come from Resonance. Arrow Storms will connect. Million Shield by this Rune Knight of Resonance. Dragon's Breath once again. Resonance just trying to take
Arrow
down
Storm?
Immunity one by one. Arrow Storms will connect. A Seed Break plus Arrow Storm Shadow Formation on that Ranger of Immunity as a Resonance.
wow.
Resonance has the advantage right here as Immunity. I think it's only left with that Ranger using that
Ranger,
Arrow Storm.
yes.
Gates of Hell will connect and take down that Ranger. But it got taken down as well with that Arrow Storm. And Resonance leading the victory right here, and waited for Immunity to push in and just eliminated their members one by one. A great counter Curse Circle coming from Resonance, but Immunity, they almost took that took advantage of that Curse Circle, but I didn't see that much follow up coming from Immunity right there. Because again, Curse Circle landed coming from Immunity, followed by another curse circle coming from Resonance. So, I didn't see that Arrow Storm connect immediately. Maybe he got caught by that curse circle as well,
Yes.
or maybe because he needs to be wary of other surviving members from Resonance. So that's why he didn't want to really commit immediately. But yeah, a really nice attack there coming from Resonance to counter what Immunity just did. But
Yeah.
maybe there's still an Immunity member left. That's why the round is still going on.
Yeah. But yeah, like what I said before the match starts, Immunity needs to stick with their strategy. Their strategy actually works versus Resident on their first match. But for some reason, I'm not sure what happened to Immunity. They decided in, doing a big and strong push versus Residents to think that the lineup of Immunity is perfectly fit for this map, right? Compared to a Resonance Rune Knight and Shadow Chaser, wherein they need to close the gap in order for them to launch those heavy damages. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Immunity just pushed there, big and strong. So
Yes. And wow, what a round right there.
yeah,
Resonance versus Immunity. Immunity really did a good job in that push here in round number 2. Again, Curse Circle. That was a beautiful play, but
yeah,
unfortunately, follow-ups weren't really enough for them to take the team of Resonance down. But there we have it for match number 4. Resonance will move on to the top 8. And now, MG, let's take this time to introduce the top 8 teams we have for Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023.
yes, and let's go. Okay, so for our top 8 guys, we have Unlock versus Dignity, Essence versus Hers, and the next one is gonna be Arrogant versus Hierarchy, and Sightlike versus Resonance. That's gonna be our top 8.
Yes. Yes, and that's going to be the quarterfinals, which will happen on the 10th of April 2023. That's going to be on Monday, same time, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And what beautiful matches we have here,
Yes.
or we had for the top 16 of Ragnarok Asia Masters 2023. And I'm looking forward to, seeing more intense gameplay coming from the top 8 teams of this tournament. And
Yes.
yeah,
Like
what's going to be the meta on match number 4? Maybe we'll
yeah,
see
that's actually
Warlocks this
one
time
of
though.
the questions that I have. On our top 32, it's like Shadow Chaser, Rune Knight. Then all of a sudden, it shifted to a Ranger Danger mechanic style of
Mhm.
meta. Top 8, top 8. Are we gonna see a Warlock this time?
Well, maybe in map number 4 we'll be seeing
Yeah,
a Warlock getting utilized in that map,
please.
but we'll see
Let's
next
go.
week again, April 10, 2023, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Is going to be the next live stream of Ragnarok Asia Masters, and that's
Yes.
going to be the quarter finals. But for tonight, that's going to be it.
Yep.
Beautiful set of matches we had for tonight, and yeah, looking forward to see more intense gameplay coming from our teams. And with that said, once again, we are your casters. My name is
And my
James,
name is MG.
and we'll see you guys in the next RAM live stream. Bye, guys.